Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 104. In this lesson we will introduce the student to the R-controlled IR. Let's begin by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, and if the student has finished this list, then you can move on to the top 290 word list. You can find this word list on the flyingcatacademy.com website. Go to the Guided Lessons section and you'll find a subpage there called Extra Resources, and that's where you'll find it. You'll need the teacher instruction sheet, the student's sight word card pack, some blank cards for introducing new sight words, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. For the visual drill and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the student's card pack. For the blending drill, you'll want to have this one all set up and ready to go on the table. I will provide it in the lesson, but it is a better idea to have it on the table because you want the student using manipulatives. We'll have the magnetic letter tile drill for reading and spelling, so you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the cookie sheet with the letters spread in a rainbow shape for the student. You'll need the syllable pounding instruction sheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for the lesson. In addition, we'll have an IR-ER read and sort, and you'll have to have that one cut out and ready to go on the table. And in addition to all of that, you might have a timer, and you'll need the timer once you've introduced the fluency element, which you should do once the student has solid phonemic awareness and decoding skills. You'll need a secondary program to do this, such as Read Naturally or the 6-Minute Reading Solution. Let's do the sight word study method. Student, could you take out your sight word card pack? I would like you to read through all of the words in your pack. After you read a word correctly, you'll put a check mark in the corner of the card. Once you're finished, hand the card pack to your teacher, and then it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher will read each of the cards, and student, you'll write them down. When you write a word correctly, put a check mark in the other corner of the card. When you're finished, it's time to have a quick discussion about which of those words has been mastered. Mastered words will be removed from the card pack. This leaves space so that you can introduce a new sight word. Now it's time for the phonemic awareness drill. You'll need your colored tiles for this one. Your word is he. Can you repeat that word? I might say he is coming for dinner. Now I'd like you to build the word he with your colored tiles. And then tap it and say it. Did you have two tiles and they're both different colors? If you did, that's right. Now find the E in he. I want you to change the E into an Now tap it, say it. What's your new word? Did you say her? I will invite her to dinner. If you did, that's right. Now find a D. Add the D to the end of her. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say herd? There was a herd of gazelles. Okay, great. Find the D in herd and change the D into a M. Now tap it, say it. This one's a nonsense word. Did you say this is herm? It's part of the word hermit. Okay, now if that's herm, I would like you to find the in herm. Change the into an or. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say horm? Not a real word either, is it? Let's make it into a real word. Change the at the end of horm into a n. Now tap it, say it. Did you say that your new word is horn? I will play the horn. If you did, that's right. Great job. You can put your tiles away. Let's do the visual drill. Student, you'll need your card pack for this one. What is the sound of this one? Did you say this one makes I? If you did, that's right, as in the word sigh. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. It's time for the auditory drill. Student, your sound is or. Can you repeat that sound? Now think of the graphemes for or. How do you write that? I'd like you to write it down and say or as you're writing. And then when you're finished, underline it and say or again. And then we'll check your work. Did you write or as OR? If you did, that's right. It's an R controlled. Okay, great job. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. Now it's time for the blending drill. And your teacher probably has this one all set up on the table for you. This is where you tap each card and say the sounds. And then you underline it and say the whole word. And then the teacher's going to change the word by one card. And that will reveal a new word. Then you'll tap it and say it, and on you go. If your teacher doesn't have this one on the table, then I will provide the drill right here, and you can just keep on playing the video. Now let's do some syllable pounding. Student, can you say the word hornet? The hornet was buzzing around. How many syllables are there in the word hornet? Say the word and count the syllables. Or you could do it this way and pound them out. I hear 2 in that one. Hornet. 2. How about this one? Hermit. How many syllables are there in hermit? Someone who is a recluse, likes to live alone, could be called a hermit. 2 in that one. Now try this one. Unsportsmanlike. Can you say that word? If you have good sportsmanship skills, then you are a good sport in the way that you follow the rules of the game and you're happy when other people do a good job. If you are unsportsmanlike, you might swear on the field, or you might kick another player and break a rule in some way. So unsportsmanlike. How many syllables? Let's see. Unsportsmanlike. I count 4 on that one. Okay, now let's scoop some syllables. So student, can you take out your scooping syllables worksheet? And teacher, you can take out the answer key. And student, as you're working through the words, I'd like you to discuss your thinking. Now we'll practice making word sums, adding suffixes to different bases of different syllable types. And remember, you're thinking about what is the great rule that applies to each of those syllable types, the great rule of spelling. And also think about talking through your thinking as you're working on the word sums. We've been talking about the R-controlled syllable type. And on the surface, an R-controlled syllable looks like a closed syllable. The difference comes in how the vowel is sounded, because in a closed syllable, you know that we have one vowel followed by one or more consonants, and in that situation, the vowel is short. Apple, Eddie, itchy, olive, or up. But in the R-controlled, even though it looks superficially like a closed syllable, the vowel is not making the short vowel sound. So that's why it doesn't qualify as a closed syllable. We make a brand new syllable type for this one. And we've learned about what happens when an A is followed by an R. This one's R-controlled. What does it sound like? It says R. So that's not a long vowel sound. It's not the short vowel sound. It's a completely different sound. The name of the letter R. And how about this one? What sound does OR make? OR makes OR. And we've learned about a third one, ER. What sound does ER make? Well, ER makes the sound of what an R would do. Can you tell your teacher the story of why we have a race car as the symbol of the R-controlled vowel? Tell our teacher the story that we used to remember this one. Okay. And today we're going to focus on IR. And IR makes the sound. Can you say which is exactly what ER does. They're making the same sound, the sound. So how do we know whether a word is going to use ER or IR? That's tricky, isn't it? There's a lot of words that use ER, a lot of words that use IR. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sort. And you're going to read a word on the card and then sort it under the correct heading. Is it ER or IR? And the way that I like my students to remember whether it's ER or IR is we make a story about all the IR words. So you could have a story about a bird who is in a fir tree, FIRBIRD. So put all of the words on that are on the little cards under the two columns, and then use the IR words to make a little story. Now let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. Can you say G? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you say Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Can you say O? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say the word. Did you say the word is girl? If you did, that's right. Now I want you to think about the spelling, because remember today that we're trying to figure out, do we spell the word with ER or do we spell the word with IR? To think about the story that you made to remember the IR words. Is girl part of that story? Yes, it is. So that's an IR word. So you would spell the word GIRL. Okay, put those tiles back and let's try a new word. Okay, can you say D? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you say Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Can you say T? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap and say the word. Did you say the word is dirt? If you did, that's right. Now the question is, do you spell dirt with ER or IR? So think of the story that you made to remember the IR words. This is an IR word, so this is DIRT. Okay, teacher, if there's time, you can do one or more words in this way. And if not, then move on to the single word list, then the short story, and then add the fluency element. Now let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. You'll need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape. Your word is first. Can you repeat that word? Now what's the first sound that you hear in first? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in first? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in first? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in first? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Okay, now tap and say the word. Did you spell this one? Oh, and think about your story so that you can make sure you spell this one correctly. Is it an ER? Is it an IR? What is it? This one is FIRST. Hope you got it right. If not, that's okay. That's what we're here for. We're going to practice. So you can put those tiles back and let's get ready for a new word. Your word is flirt. Can you repeat that word? I might say the bird flirted with danger. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in flirt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in flirt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in flirt? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in flirt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in flirt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap and say the word. Think about your story so you get your correct spelling. Did you spell this one F-L-I-R-T? If you did, that's right. Okay, teacher, you can do more words in this way if you have time. And if not, then student, grab a lined paper and a pencil because it's time to write some single words. Your word is third. Can you repeat that? We had a running race and I came in third. Nah, I probably wouldn't even come in third. Okay, I'd like you to tap out the sounds that you hear in third and say the sounds as you do that. Then say the whole word and then write it down. Okay, did you spell this one T-H-I-R-D? If you did, that's right. Okay, here's your next one. Bird. Can you repeat that word? Okay, tap out the sounds, say the word, and write it down. Did you spell this one B-I-R-D? If you did, that's right. Okay, here's your next one. Term. In some schools, there are 2 terms. Each semester is a term. Okay, tap it, say it, write it down. Did you spell this one T-E-R-M? If you did, that's right. Okay, teacher, it's time to write some complete sentences. So I'd like you to read out all 3 sentences to the student and let the student choose the 2 that will be written. Student, after you write a sentence, please remember to check your work with chops. We've been talking about the R-controlled vowel. Student, what is the sound of this one? Did you say R? If you did, that's right. And what is the sound of this one? Did you say or? That would be correct. And then these 2 make the same sound. What's the sound of these 2? These ones say Okay, what I'd like to do just to finish off is I'm going to say a word. I'd like you to point to the screen to show is it IR or ER that's the correct spelling for this word. Your word is bird. That's an IR. Okay, how about this one? Herd. There were a herd of gazelles. Did you say ER? If you did, that's right. 30. 30 is 30. That's an IR. Girl. IR again. Okay, great job today. This is the end of lesson 104. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.